I'd like to call to order the open meeting for Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Commissioner Hawkins is joining us virtually today. Commissioner Hawkins, can you hear us?
I sure can.
Great, thank you. And now I will ask the Commission Secretary for information on today's agenda.
Each commissioner has independently reviewed the minutes of the open meeting of Thursday, September 11th, 2025, and each has informed me there is no need to discuss the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes of the open meeting of Thursday, September 11, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Each commissioner has independently reviewed the agenda, and each has informed me there is no need to discuss the notices associated with agenda items 2 through 10, or the draft final decision in docket 5 BS 284, for which each commissioner independently indicated the inapplicable conclusion of law number 6 on page 4 that should be stricken.
I move we approve the notices of investigation associated with agenda items 2 through 9.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move we approve the notice of proceeding associated with agenda item 10.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
In docket 5 BS 284, I move we approve the draft final decision consistent with the Commission Secretary's description.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That does bring us to our loan discussion item of the day, 6680 TE 112, the application of Wisconsin Power and Light, or WP&L, authority to modify its existing arrears management program, or AMP. So this should be a relatively quick conversation. WP&L's AMP was initially approved as a pilot program in 2020. The request before us today is a modified program that includes changes brought forth by Blacks for Political and Social Action, or BPSA. First, I do want to note that this modified program is a product of negotiation and compromise between WPL and BPSA, and so I want to commend them for working together to improve this program and especially its accessibility to customers. I'm very optimistic that these changes further set the WP&L AMP program up for success. So like I said, I think this decision is fairly straightforward. Progress is being made on WP&L's AMP. The parties involved are in alignment and did collaborate on the program improvement, and they have also pledged to continue that work together, so I won't belabor any of my remarks here. There are 2 decision items for us to make. For the first one, I'm at alternative 1, which would be to approve the modifications as outlined in the memo, and then secondly, I'm at subalt C, which is to take no action related to the pilot status or the duration. So I'm at alt 1 because the applicant and BPSA, as I said, are aligned in their support for what's before us, and the memo in the record clearly outlined the benefits of the program modifications. For the decision on pilot status and or duration, I'm at subalt C. I don't feel the need to take action today. I think by nature, WP&L's AMP is a pilot program and should remain that way for now. It was recently developed. It's undergone a few changes since its inception, and like I said, the applicant and BPSA have made it clear in the record that they plan to continue to work together to review, evaluate, and improve the pilot. For these reasons, especially because future changes are likely, it's appropriate to maintain the program status as a pilot, because to me, ending pilot status signals that the program is finalized and that it's a pencils down situation, which is not the case here. Maintaining the pilot status without a specified end date is also consistent with the applicant's comments to the commission memo and aligns with my preference to allow for continued review and evaluation of the program. Typically, when we order programs to be taken up in rate cases, it's usually because we either want to direct a regulated entity to create a program that doesn't yet exist, we feel a program or a topic has not been given the time and attention we expect, and or we've seen a lack of collaboration and progress between parties involved on specific issues or programs. Ordering a program to be taken up in a rate case to me signals that the commission has put a marker down and we're compelling action by a certain time and within a certain proceeding. And finally, I think ordering a program to be taken up in a rate case usually occurs when the rate case is the most appropriate venue because the program involves the consideration of a rate adjustment. So none of those factors are in play with the item before us today. The program exists, albeit still in its relative infancy. The parties have prioritized working together on this AMP, and they've improved it, and they've pledged to continue to do that. And finally, this program does not include a rate design element. So my approach here is to trust the process, keep the successful collaboration and the pilot going. I think these positions reflect the most flexible and appropriate approach for this specific applicant and this specific program at this time. The only other thing that I'll note is that being at Alt 1, Sub-Alt C also does reflect my position that we do not need to accept the out-of-time filing that came in after our deadline because it's not necessary to consider them in light of where I am on the decision points. And I just think when we do have deadlines or bright line kind of rules, that those are the things we need to follow, because otherwise we may be setting precedent and it could be a slippery slope related to late filings going forward. So that's where I am and why. And now I will turn it over first to Commissioner Nieto and then to Commissioner Hawkins for their positions on these items. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson Strand. I am largely in the same position as you. Similar to what you noted, I would commend the applicant and BPSA for their work here. And it's obvious there's been some good collaboration that's resulting in a better outcome for the utility and its customers. And this program is significantly increasing on-time payments and reducing participant arrears levels and decreasing the cost of disconnections to the utility system based on past reporting. And these are benefits that have accrued to all customers, not just those enrolled. In terms of the proposal made by WPL itself, I would accept that. And I would agree with you on just the couple points you made here. I don't need, under the sub-alternatives, to set any sort of end date on a pilot or take any action there for the same reasons you expressed. Don't need that rate case marker for the same reasons you expressed. And then I don't need to take notice of the late filing or make the modification in the late filing. And for the exact same reason, I think there was, some substantive modifications raised there that we could look at a different time when they're in time. I would propose for both of your consideration one minor modification, which is that if we do ultimately vote, as it sounds like, to maintain this as pilot status, the other AMPs, Superior, MG&E, WEC, et cetera, that are all in pilot status, they do all have ongoing reporting. And as they're making modifications to their programs, staff have been in each of those dockets in order points required, or the utility's been required to work with staff to finalize reporting requirements that would meet what we would want to see in the future, so folks know what we would be looking at a future review point. I think that could be good to do a similar same order point here as well and add that on. And with that, if we ultimately do that, that would put me at an Alt 2 because the reporting would be the modification and then that same sub C. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Hawkins?
Thanks. I am able to join Commissioner Nieto on her modification. I think that makes sense to make this reporting requirement similar to what we have for others. And then I'm also at sub-alt C, not acting on the pilot status or requesting to be at the next rate case for the same reasons that the chair outlined in her opening comments. So I'm fine joining the Alt 2 sub C as Commissioner Nieto just discussed.
Thank you, Commissioner Hawkins. Commissioner Nieto, I know you referenced specific order points. Would you like to articulate those to ensure that what you're offering is being accurately captured?
Yes, I would suggest an order point that says the applicant shall work with commission staff to develop performance metrics and reporting requirements. The applicant shall report on the agreed metrics on an annual basis. And that would essentially match what we just did in MG&E and be very similar to the last reporting requirement in Superior and WEX programs as well.
Okay, great, thank you for that. So right now, the position being offered by Commissioner Nieto and that Commissioner Hawkins is comfortable with would be alternative 2, just to be clear. So we would be approving the request to modify the AMP, and then also adding one minor modification, that reporting requirement that Commissioner Nieto discussed, and then subalternative C, which means that no action would be taken related to the pilot status or the duration of the program. I think it's important for us, as we've tried to do, to be consistent across the board where consistency is appropriate. And an AMP program that is in pilot status across the board for various regulated entities, I think that makes sense. And I think the benefit of that outweighs any negative impacts of, additional reporting requirements or like requiring reporting just to require reporting. So I'm fine joining you guys both at Alt 2 sub C with that minor reporting requirement modification for those reasons. So I think that means we're ready for a motion on this one.
Great. Thank you, Chairperson Strand. In docket 6680 TE 112, I move we approve Wisconsin Power and Light's modifications to its arrears management program consistent with our discussion today.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. Thank you, guys. That does conclude our official business for today. Our next open meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we stand adjourned until Thursday, September 25, 2025 at 10:30 a.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.